Welcome everyone to this brief glance of Cossacks 3, and before I move on and say anything else, I will mention that I got the key from the developer because disclosure is always good and it's worthwhile to mention. It takes a few seconds. And there we go, we're done. Cossacks 3 is a game made by a company called GSC Gameworld. Perhaps you've heard of them, perhaps you have not. They're a Ukrainian developer based in Kiev. And if you have heard of them, you probably either played Cossack series or the Stalker series. And Stalker series, both of them are famous for various reasons. Cossack series is I should call it the first game they made was the Cossacks, released in 2000. And that game was quite inspired by Age of Empires, which was released a few years earlier than it. But they put a very heavy focus on war, massive battles of upwards to 10,000 units, and specifically on the 17th and 18th century warfare. Now Cossacks 3, on the other hand, was just recently released, now on the 20th of September. It's the first game in the series for close to a decade. I believe the last expansion for Cossacks 2 was released in 2006, so yeah, it's pretty much a decade since the last game in the series. And while this is styled as a sequel, considering the 3 and everything, the game offered here on release anyway is more aptly described as a 3D remake of the original Cossacks, and that is for better or for worse. The developers themselves have said that they, based the game primarily on the mechanics of Cossacks 1, since they viewed it as the best mechanics. And I played a little bit of it so far, and yeah, it's very close to the original Cossacks game. And while this one has mostly 3D graphics, the original had 2D and stuff like that, it is mechanically speaking very close to the original game. And as I mentioned, for better or for worse, you don't really get many strategy games, and most of them that you get are either sequels or re-releases, like the Age of Empires 2 HD re-release and stuff like that. Or you get something like Stronghold, which might make a sequel. But most of the ones that become, pure sequels kind of botch what was good about the original game in the beginning. Kind of streamlining mechanics, making the game easier to get into and stuff like that, which are not always very well received by the fans, and thus, become kind of, how should you call it, 7 or something out of 10. Instead of the 9 out of 10 that it should have been. So for that reason, it's good that it's basing primarily on the first game. You don't really get many complex RTSs these days. So for that reason, yeah, it is a good thing. But the bad thing is that it doesn't really offer much innovation compared to the original game, so you could technically just go play the original game. And perhaps with the expansions, you would get more content for value. That's up to you. And for the worse, I also heard that the AI is not very well optimized. There's quite a few bugs. The game, is still being updated according to the developers. So, things can change and get added and stuff like that. So hopefully they will be. But first of all, before I jump into a random map, as it's called, a skirmish, I will just mention one thing in the settings. No, I'm not going to go through the settings. I'm not a graphics god. I don't know what all of these things mean. I don't even know what FXAA mean. I think there's some anti-aliasing. Speaking of which, they should probably add in some more, because there's quite some jagged buildings and stuff like that in places. But I just want to mention one thing, and this might be a first world problem. But ever since I got my second monitor, I've noticed that games such as, for example, Hearts of Iron 4, which was a recent game even if you play it on full screen, exclusive full screen or whatever, it tends to let you move the mouse outside to the second monitor, and if you accidentally do that, you get tabbed down, which is infuriating. So I love this lock cursor to window thing. I just want to mention it. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Wonderful thing. So yeah, let's get into a random map, and for the purpose of demonstration, I think I will play... And this is also one thing that I want to mention, that I would like them to add some sort of way to know what the hell these nations have in specifically, because I would like to get either a window here that would say, oh, this nation has these units and this specific technology, for example. But as far as I know, I've been trying to get that information in the game somehow, but I didn't. So I had to end up going to look at the information from the original Cossacks for what the units did or stuff like that. So yeah, that would be interesting to see. Let's go for, let's go for Prussia. We can be Prussia, right? And we will fight Austria. So the AI will be Austria. There's currently 4 different AI difficulties: normal, hard, very hard, and impossible. I tried a little bit against the normal AI and got my ass kicked, so hopefully we can make do with just one normal AI. Games can take quite a while in this game, so I don't think if we survive, then we might not even be able to finish it. But who knows? Let's get started here. Prussia versus Austria. And here we are. We can even pause the game, which is a thing that unfortunately too few games even allow you to do. Though you can't, well, you can, give them orders meanwhile while you're paused, which is pretty nice. So we will put down a town hall here, which will be very useful for producing all these little peasants here. And I will put 6 peasants on making a mill so we can get some food production going. I'll probably put it over here since we're in the edge of the map there. Seems like a pretty good place to put it. So they will go and do that. And here we have a mine. But I don't think we will focus on the mine just yet. Let's just get more of them so they will speed up the production. Actually, just get the town hall. Because I believe that getting storehouses in which you can store wood and stone, so you can put one here and have units, get stone and wood for you. There is in the game 4 different resources: wood, food, stone here, gold, iron and coal. 3 of which you get from various mines, such as these. It was a bit confusing in the beginning, but these icons you can see. This is an iron deposit, build a mine on this spot. Here's a coal deposit and a gold deposit, and so far at least I'm just going through the standard start. You will have one of each very, very close to your base. There's a number of options you can do to customize the start, I suppose. But currently we only start with here 18 different workers, so let's get the time rolling. As I mentioned, the AI has been so far much better than me, so they've mostly just kicked my ass as soon as I got into the game. So I can mention one of the things, well, I actually should probably wait until Town Hall, but one of the things I would like the game to add is basically controls, hotkeys and stuff like that. I don't even know if any hotkeys are in, but for example in StarCraft 2, which is probably the biggest example of how a modern RTS should be like, even though I would like to, I'm not a very competitive gamer. And StarCraft scares the hell out of me due to everyone being so damn good at the game, and I never try to do the ladder and stuff like that. So I would like to have more like modern Age of Empires perhaps, or something like that. Oh, this is not even done. But for example in this game, have here, in StarCraft for example, you would have in brackets, one form of key that will say, oh, if you press this one, you will do it automatically. But for peasant here, for example, perhaps it will be P. Let's press P. Nothing happens. There's no hotkey that I can figure out here. I will press every key that I have, and it will do nothing, which is a shame. And now I think I unlocked it to do it infinitely, which is pretty good for peasants, because you need a lot of peasants to survive. And now with this done, we will do a storehouse, and then we just wait for these grains to grow. It takes a while for them to get going until you can place the peasants there to work. But we will have approximately 10 to start with. So they will stand over here, being in the ready. And here we will have, I think 4 of them can chop down some wood, and 5 of them can go for stone, and then we will just add more of them as they get made over here. Come on. Can I get my grain? So yeah, that would be very good, I suppose. But especially since in barracks you need to produce so many units. Though I think a bit can be offset by the fact that you can just turn on so they will be made forever, essentially. So I suppose that helps, especially when, as I mentioned, units can go up to thousands of units that you need to pair up. So for that matter, it will be pretty good to have the ability to press a hotkey or something. I will try and see if there is grouping added. There is control groups, so that's pretty good. Can we do it on buildings as well? Yeah, we can. So, control groups work as the way as they should. I'm saying this for, as a person who never plays strategy games with hotkeys. If I play StarCraft, it will mostly be just clicking on the buttons anyway. But I figured, quite a few people are much better than me at these kind of games, and I think they would appreciate it. You can increase the speed just by pressing the minus buttons and stuff like that. I think there's 3 different speeds in the game. We can perhaps check that out in the game menu. Will there be 3 different speeds? Control? Yeah, normal, fast, and very fast. Though, as far as I know, and I'm trying to look here on the screen, there's no indication of which speed I'm currently at. That would be pretty nice to have as well. But as you can see here, the AI is already very far ahead of me. I assume that means that it's far ahead of me. So that's not a very good start. Oh, I'm getting kind of scared here. Let's place all of the workers to start getting wood. No, not wood, but food, in fact. So we can get going on that. Then we will need to get some sort of mine. Perhaps we should start with a gold mine and have 3 of these new peasants get going on that. With the blacksmith, we now have the ability to make a barracks. And I realized that you kind of need a barrack and you need an army fast. Most of the buildings can be captured by the enemy, which was quite a big surprise. It actually says here on every single building can be captured by the enemy. Because I got attacked by the enemy in one turn. I even tried to prepare this time. I had 2 towers, I had a fairly big army, but they managed to kill my army and a couple of units left. They just walked into my town, captured my town hall, captured all my production buildings, and I suppose I was out of a job. So that wasn't very nice of them. So it's you know, one of these details where if you haven't played, you know, I haven't played a Cossacks game in at least 8 years or something like that. So it's one thing that you kind of forget is possible. So yeah, if you decide to pick this game up, then be aware that getting captured completely, not a good thing to happen. And while I haven't encountered many bugs on my own, I have heard, you know, or read rather, that there is the game is currently quite buggy, which is unfortunate, of course. But since I haven't noticed them myself, I thought I might as well mention them, because it could be useful. Overall, though, the UI, as you may or may not noticed from the video itself, is not the best. Especially, one thing that I have a problem with is the units. Okay, I can produce a unit here, so I will do a pikeman, and then I will have to cancel the pikeman here, and I can cancel the pikeman. So for your own units, you will get information of protection against spikes and stuff like that. You will get your information. It's not the most beautiful laid out way of giving that information, but you will have it nonetheless. The enemy units, though, you will not get the same information from, which is, I mean, it's you will get information of, you know, they are part of this nation, but that's pretty much all you will see from it. This nation, it has this much health. And I want to see, you know, okay, so they destroyed me this time. I want to learn until the next time, what did they do that was so much better than me? Was it that they had more, you know, for example, upgrades than me? Is that the reason for why they won and I got completely crushed? It could have been, but I don't know. There's no way to tell. So that would be pretty nice if that was part of the game as well. Okay, we have now... And I do like that you can see how many units you have from, or producing each resource. So I'm pretty low on iron production, so probably have 1 more there. We have 10 on food production, so I assume that is pretty decent for now. We are actually producing quite a few number of units here. So that goes down fairly steadily. We will have a pretty big need for food. And we could probably need a few more buildings as well as we just need a lot more peasants. Not more peasants for producing resources of all kinds. Perhaps do another barracks, because we need a big army. Or perhaps we should make a tower. No, this time we will be barracks. A lot of barracks. So we'll build another barracks, and this one will head into the mine here. You can upgrade the mines to... Or in the start, we will have 5 peasants inside the building, well, inside the mine, at the starting level. You can upgrade them a couple of times. For example, you can double the amount of people inside and the production in it as well. It doesn't seem to be a max of, you know, this has this much resources or this many resources that you can use before it runs out. That doesn't seem to be part of it, at least not now. And that is probably for the best, otherwise it could be pretty hairy. And right now we have 18 units and we are starting to get a sizable army. We can here conduct a physical training. And I'm pretty sure training does not need A before, but it doesn't matter, conduct physical training. I'm not a native English speaker, so I can't really comment on that anyway, if it fits or not. We could have an academy here that research important technologies and add a variety of upgrades. Can be captured by the enemy. Does not sound very fun. To be captured by enemies, that is. Cathedral that will build priests, which are natural healers. Everyone knows that priests always heal. I suppose in this time they would. I can't think of who else would produce or provide medical services in the 17th or the 18th century. No, probably. I mean, I will accept priests. I will hardly accept priests in that case. And let's build a tower here that can protect. They have heavy artillery which will decimate large groups of enemies, which can be very nice. We probably need some sort of protection here, maybe a wall that will prevent enemies from getting through that way. We could use 2 more in the coal mine and 1 more in the iron mine, though coal is not really of too much demand at the moment, so we could probably skip it. We need, I mean, walls take a lot of time to build, and towers, you see the tower time 1524, so you need a lot of guys building the tower for it to get done fast enough. And food is steadily going down despite having 11 guys on it. So we maybe need to make another mill or put more guys to produce here. But I mean, now we have 33 pikemen. 33 pikemen. How much until we can get an officer? They need an academy before we can make an officer. That's good. And a drummer? Yeah. Okay, so we need 1 officer and 1 drummer to create our combat formations, which is one of the defining things. So you can create a formation here. Oh, I should really have learned how to do that. But if you have a drummer and a commander or officer, you can create a formation, and they can act as a single unit, cohesive unit, which is pretty cool. Pretty darn cool. Let's have 1 more working here, and then we will improve grain crops treatment, which will improve the harvesting over here. And perhaps we should make that academy. So there we go. We will place it over here so it's less likely to be captured. The enemy can arrive at any time, but I am keeping up pretty nice this time. I am not the best person at all in these kind of games, but I'm keeping up decently this time. Somewhat decently. Hopefully decently. But I think even with these buildings, and here's one thing that I have this guy selected, but if it stands on building thing, I don't even know. The first time when I built a mill, they all were standing around there, so I thought they were waiting for it to be done, and they were all, you know, reserved for that building. So I had lost most of my workers for a long time. But you just don't see that circle underneath, for example, this pavement, which is unfortunate. So I assume that's just a bug that will be ironed out after the fact, but still. Oh god, the barracks cost quite a bit more for each one you make. So this one costs 10,000 of each. That's quite a bit. So let's make another mill instead. We'll have the mill over here in the middle of the town, and we will have quite a few people working on it. Perhaps we could also stop just peasant production. But one thing I know from Age of Empires, from all of these games, is the key to victory is having a strong economy and always growing economy. You can never stop making units. Over here we can see that gold is... well, we are rapidly decreasing in gold. Perhaps we should increase our gold mine here. Unfortunately, it costs 1,000 food to do, which is not... you know, it's not brilliant. Do we have any other gold mine in the vicinity? Perhaps we should send out a pikeman here to investigate. Perhaps we should send one over here in order to also investigate and see what's beyond the border. Here we have a copper mine. Was it? No, wait, it wasn't copper, it's iron. It's an iron deposit, and here we have coal. We have more coal, and that's not at all what I'm looking for. Ah, excellent. Gold. Wonderful. So we will send 5 peasants to hunt the gold and make a mine. There we go. They will all build on that mine. And see here. Okay, so this one you can see, but these guys you can't see. You can't see the circles on them. So it's, you know, for all you knew that could be stuck here, you didn't have them selected. Of course, you could just look here, but it wouldn't be nice with the visual indicator being, you know, be able to penetrate through grass, for example, or a pavement. Especially when it's standing on the pavement. Well, how's the... oh, we probably shouldn't... well, the fields are growing here. We should probably help out in making the academy grow stronger and faster, I suppose. So in the, at least the base game release as it is right now, there's 12 nations in the game. I can't for the love of me... which are there? Well, the Prussia and Austria for one thing. Then there is Russia, There is France. I assume Great Britain or England. Sweden is in it. Then there is Venice. Spain, perhaps? Yeah, a couple of others. But it's 12 in total. And I think the original Cossacks game had 16 or something on release. But more might be added later on. And as I mentioned before, there's no way to really know what the different units do, or different nations do specifically for them. But they each have different units that could be added. I think Turkey, or the Ottoman Empire, has, for example, no 18th century unit, or at least that's true for Cossacks 1, but I assume, it carries over. No 18th century unit or upgraded units. Everything they have is in the start game, but they have pretty powerful units like that. And Algeria, I think, is in this game as well. It has the same thing, but it has a pretty darn powerful boat to help out Sebes or something like that. So yeah, there's things to keep in mind. And now we have, well, I mean, this has got to be counting as a sizable damn army. I'm pretty proud of it, if I am to be honest. We have some Musketeers here in the back ranks and protected by a lot of pikemen. And to progress to the 18th century, we will need 40,000 food and 11,500 gold. We have the iron, where we are covering the iron thing, but we also need to make an academy, a cathedral, and artillery depot. So we're quite far away. Quite far away. So we will definitely need to get this show on the road and make more food going. And I think in the academy you have cultivate new cultures of wheat. Harvesting plus 40% and carry out fields. Let's do both of these. They sound awesome. And we can do that. Meanwhile, we will need a stable in order to make the artillery depot happen. We could also make the cathedral. We will make the stable instead. Because the stable is more... yeah, you guessed it. Stable. The tower is still not done with 7 workers on it. And with all of this we have used up quite a bit of wood, but not a lot of stone. Not a lot of stone at all. But now with these, we should probably cancel out these productions and make 1 drummer and 1 commander. Or perhaps 2. 1 of each. So there, 1 drummer done, and then we will have 1 more drummer. 1 commander, and a drummer done, and now you can go back and making some pikemen. And officer done. Okay, so we have 1 officer here and 1 drummer. They will have a couple of units here. Let's see if I can remember how to create their particular move AI. Okay, so I'm not really certain on how to make these. Perhaps I should have looked that up before making this video, but I can't really remember everything. Either way, you're supposed to be able to make these cool formations and stuff like that happen. And here we have stand ground. We can make a move and attack, enable attack, disable attack. Perhaps we need some more units, or perhaps we need only a specific type of unit. We will try around a little bit and hope for the best. Can we create something with the officer? Here we go! Assume rank formation, assume column formation. How about we assume column formation? Pikeman. There we go. Awesome. Wonderful. Wonderful. And now we have pikemen, 17th century, in a column formation. We can also assume square formation instead, and they will form into squares. It will be pretty good against, cavalry charging into them. The Musketeers over here, perhaps we should make something with the officers. Can we... no, not enough. You need a certain amount, or in certain, numbers in order to get anywhere. Okay, so we have started to get quite a few peasants. Perhaps we should stop the automatic peasant production and get on to working with something else. Perhaps, or perhaps not. In here we have 3 guys, and here we have 4 guys until this guy shows up inside. And the rest of you just jump inside. Is it really that hard? There's a guy sitting outside here doing absolutely nothing. So he will start... actually, get some wood. Can we get some extra wood going? Let's have a storehouse over here, so we will gather wood from over here. And we are continuously producing our units, and we forgot to use, to do even more of these guys. Okay, so now you can assume line formation. and move forward. Wonderful. And I think the guys over here had field formation. Can we add even more units to it? That would be pretty cool. So yeah, when this officer has enough units here, we have 36 pikemen, so we can turn them into a thing. How many musketeers do we have? 18 so far, so we need a lot more. We need a lot more musketeers. We can get going on that. Food is rapidly increasing now, which is good. We need a lot of it. So we can move forward with that. Now we have 22 guys getting some wheat for us. The stable here is getting done. We even past the normal AI. I think we just got over that little edge that you needed, nudged over the border in order to, pass the AI in awesomeness. Here at the blacksmith we can manufacture some other things to improve our food production. And this one has actually quite a lot of things you can upgrade as well. Oh, I'm starting to really get into this game. Now we can do an artillery depot and get some artillery done. Hopefully without losing it to the AI completely. And we should probably have some scouts outside. It was a pretty good idea, even though it was not by design. And have a pikeman way over here to act as, well, scouts. Here we have 8 peasants now, which are ready. They should go and help out on the artillery depot. Sounds like their calling in life. And now these guys can just make some wood. So far, so good. We are using 225 out of 400 slots. So this is starting to get a pretty big army, you might think. But not even close yet. Not even close. Can we fill the formation? No, we cannot. But we have a pretty decent formation here of pikemen, 17th century. We'll try to get to the 18th century, but for doing that we need to get that artillery depot up. We need to also make a cathedral. And we need to get a lot more iron and stuff like that. So what we can do in the meanwhile is to upgrade these bad boys to get to the next level. That used up quite a bit of our food, but we need more gold producers. That's what we need. Are we not having full here? There we are. How can we have 9 then? We have 5 here, and then we have 5 here. That is 10, not 9. Are we paying... Okay. Well, we will focus on getting some more gold here. So we'll put 5 guys inside. So we'll have 10 here and then 5 over here. That should be hopefully sufficient amounts of gold. And then we will start making the cathedral so we can get to the next level. And then we will stage an attack and hopefully kill the enemy. We are starting to push quite a bit ahead of the AI now. And there we go, and jump inside. What else to say about it? I mean, the AI so far, I can't really say I played the Cossacks 1 too much in the recent times. I mean, as I mentioned, it's been many years since I last played a Cossacks game. But the AI seems quite aggressive, at least in the start. If you're bad or making a mistake, the AI will punish for you for it. At least from my experience, if you're new at the game, they suddenly came with a bunch of guys, murdered me completely, and then left. So far, just to prove me wrong, the AI has done nothing to me. So I suppose that's what I get for saying anything. Cathedral is now completed. Where is my different officer? Musketeers. And now we have a line of musketeers. You can join in. Oh, here we have the AI. The AI has come. Men, come to my aid. Help me out here. We can make here a cannon. Wait, what is this? Decreases cost by 20%. That's pretty good. Speed up building time. But we will make a cannon. And then we also have a howitzer, which is a siege cannon. And here we have a bombard. So at least 3 different types of cannons. And then, ooh, multi-barrel cannon. It's like, sounds pretty cool. This AI doesn't seem to be too strong. They do have... wait, oh, this is their health. As I mentioned, it would be nice to have some more information about their stats, their upgrades and stuff like that. Currently we're just mass-producing musketeers in order to fill up the ranks even further. Perhaps we can do that field formation. Dismiss squad. If I dismiss squad, then I could remake it if I had enough. but I don't have... I need to have 72 at least. Then to remake it into a different one. But those will just stay a bit outside while we prepare further. So now we have all the buildings needed to upgrade this. We just need to have more food. So, for that... I mean, I really want to show the next stage. So, I will make another food place. And then focus on getting that. What other resources do we need for that? We need to have gold and iron. And right now we have a lot of gold things, but I assume that these production things only cost 6 gold. What is it that takes up all the gold then? Is it that a... No, you mean cathedral? How much did that cost? No, it didn't cost much. Maybe it's the cannons. That could be the cannons. The cannons take quite a bit. The cannons cost quite a bit. So that is possible. Perhaps we should upgrade the other gold mine in order to catch up. So we will have 5 guys who will be on the standby there to jump in. And beyond that we need to have iron. And our iron is currently at fairly low. So we will make sure that our iron is competitive. This is coal and this one over here is iron. We'll have 4 guys over here and 1 guy over there and just jump inside. And yeah, let's stop production of farmers and our peasants. We will try to get our food up and running, and I will increase speed even a little bit. Still don't know which speed I am on, but sure, let's increase speed nonetheless. Officer, still 36. How many? Well, we will soon be able to. But let's do 36 for now. We can always dismiss it and reform it at will. So we will have our squads here try to move in on the enemy. You see there's no one approaching over here, it's just the one formation. We'll have our pikemen and our musketeer at the ready to fight should they come. Oh. We can even make one with cannons inside. Wonderful. Wonderful stuff. Okay, so wood is not a priority. Food, however, is. So when this is done, we will have a lot of guys making food. And it will be done soon enough. We have now... Wait, there should be more than that inside. Didn't I order 4 more guys to do it? Oh no, it was for this mine. But still, let's have some more coal as well. Coal, I mean gold is not approaching ready status yet. Okay, so let's fire. Should probably move down a bit. It's unfortunately very hard to see how well I'm doing over here. We lost quite a few men so far. I assume the enemy has lost more, but since they're piling up, it's pretty hard to see who's doing what fighting. But since they fell down and I didn't, I suppose I won. But yeah, that's unfortunate. Look at this pile. They're all in the same square meter. Everyone died at the exact same spot. Would be, I suppose, more visually pleasing if you could see more die. I mean, seems a bit morbid, but still. Wait, did I... Oh, yeah, I should put them inside. There we go. So we have some more gold being produced. Wonderful stuff, wonderful stuff. Perhaps we'll make a priest so he can heal up. But we only need 1 priest, we don't need 2. And apparently it takes a bit of time. 22.25 seconds, which is very, very specific. And here we have some more fields for my dear farmers to work in. There we are. Do we have anything that improves our... No, there's design multi-barrel cannon, so we can do that. Develop geology, cool. Oh, cool. Design more durable gun carriage, awesome. Let's see, develop medical science, see those all live units. Okay, so there's not a lot to do here. Right now it's just gathering up more resources and hoping for the best. And I think we can... This one can fill the ranks up. And this one can dismiss the squad and choose this guy and now have 72. Wonderful. So perhaps now we should try to see what the enemy is up to. So we will march into enemy territory. As you can see here, the pikemen will take front, I hope. Wait, does that mean what I think it means? There we go. So perhaps now they will... Oh, they will be in the way that God intended them to be. Well, in this case, I suppose I'm God. I think my hubris is starting to take the better of me. And here we have another army of theirs. There's a pikemen, 17th century. Perhaps we will manage to kill them all before they reach our Musketeers. Let's see here. They are falling one by one, but not high enough. The enemy or our units will retreat automatically. Some will perhaps be left behind. Will he survive? No, he got knocked down. And our drummer! No, not our drummer. He's the most important guy. Most important of all. Our Musketeers is getting slaughtered. Holy shit. Their units attacks enemy. Well, that's good. Attack enemy. There's one guy left. Two, okay, a few more guys left. There you are, kill them. Hello, pikemans. Come on over here. Yeah, so that was a disaster. It was starting well, but our units... Oh, God. This is not... Well, we'll have a last stand over here. Our units will have the last stand of their life against the enemies. Our Musketeers, perhaps. These guys will just be a meat wall. Well, it's working out pretty well so far for us. We are still surviving, though now we're approaching the archers over here. They do like the mercenaries. Mercenaries are recruited quicker, but they cost gold to make. And they cost gold to maintain, I assume. Since they're mercenaries, they need to get paid. Mercenary always seemed like a very dangerous profession. I wonder if there's anyone left even being mercenaries these days. I mean, you don't really see condottieri or something like that these days, out in the wilderness. But I assume maybe, you know, for these private security companies and whatnot. Okay, so let's see if we can conquer some buildings. I wonder how you do that even. Perhaps you just need to look at them and they will turn. They have some, actually they have some units protecting their buildings. I assume to prevent, you know, hostile takeover. And kill that guy as well. Oh, see, we got that building. You kind of need to walk past them and they will be, well, somewhat yours. So now we have a mine over here, and holy shit, the enemy has a lot of units. They have a cathedral over here and diplomatic center, where you recruit your extra units. Here they have pikemen and they have reiters, and we are going to get completely smacked to the ground. And that will be it. And I said quick glance at the beginning of the video. This is hardly a quick anything. But yeah, this is Cossacks Free, or basically what Cossacks Free is. There's also a campaign where you can play different campaigns and learn about the game and various stories and stuff like that. So this one, for example, is set during the Holy Roman Empire. And then, you know, this is set during, well, the Cossacks time, and you can even play some things. There's also naval stuff in the game. Multiplayer is in the game as well. Perhaps I will kind of drag Double V into making some multiplayer videos of it as well. So yeah. Anyway, ladies and gents, this has been a brief glance at Cossacks Free, or well, brief and brief. It's not really been very brief. It's available for, I believe, 20 euros, dollars, something like that. I will have a link in the description below if you are interested in purchasing it. If you have any questions, thoughts, feedback, suggestions on, you know, this kind of format or this kind of video, by all means, write a comment, leave it in the comment section below. I will read it, meditate on it, and get back to you if I have anything worthwhile to say. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.